New York.
Apple.
Hot dogs.
Dollar.
Hollywood.
Democracy.
Freedom.
Rock and roll.
Wall Street.
Statue of Liberty.
Los Angeles, California.
McDonald's.
Jeans.
Bubblegum. Video games. Nintendo.
What's so great about America?
Every Saturday night, 7 to 9 p.m., explore American culture and language.
With Master Steve,
Ina MK,
And Hazva QT.
tune in to find out about what makes America so great.
The Great American Weekend. Listen exclusively on Radio Van 103.1.
Also, watch us on the Radio Van Facebook page, website, and mobile app.
And it is such a pleasure to be here in the studio with our new show titled
The Great American Weekend.
Okay, we're here for the first time. This studio actually is used for airing for the very first time. And we were trying and working so hard to make all technically and also creatively. Yeah, to make it happen. Yeah. You know, guys, what I'm talking about.
AKA progressive.
Yeah, so people are wondering, what the heck are we doing here? Saturday night, English speaking show. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. We're gonna be here every Saturday night from 7 to 9 p.m. doing what? Informing, having fun, goofing around.
Hopefully make you laugh and entertain you, because really, we just want, you know what, listeners, we just want you to be entertained. We want you to feel like you're getting something meaningful from this and maybe a couple of laughs out of
Listen who's talking. Hazva QT right in front of me and Master Steve right next to me. Later on, we're going to... And we're so excited, a little bit nervous, but we're ready. So, boys, how are you? How do you feel?
this. A little loosey-goosey. I'm feeling comfortable.
Loosey-goosey. Steven, you have to explain to the listeners what that means. Okay.
I'll make
Yeah, of course. Loosey-goosey, make a note.
If you're thinking about tuning out right now, because the definition of loosey-goosey is hang on to it.
Yeah, just tune in.
The multiple
Stay tuned.
definitions.
You guys can also watch us live on our official website, which is www.radiovan.fm, and also our official Facebook page, which is Radio Van FM 103.1. We also have a group named the Great American Weekend Radio Van, which is being updated every now and then with all useful information about our show, about America in general, about
part of the reason
Armenia, and
part of the reason we're here is to try to introduce Armenians to a little bit more American culture than they might already know. And so what we've been sharing on the Facebook group up to this point has been, interesting and popular things from America.
Okay, and before revealing all these kind of secrets, let's first introduce our blogs and ourselves, who we are. Okay, and then we will make it clear how are three of us connected, how the destiny brought us together, and also what do we have in common besides the love for music. Okay, let's start from Hazva and his name. What is it all about, Hazva QT? What is it?
Hazva QT is actually a nickname that was given to me by my friend Ella here, who's a local Armenian. It literally means in Armenian, Hazva Qt. The word Hazva Qt means
A rare. Someone.
rarity, yeah. And there's a dichotomy inside of that word, both being something rare, but also accepting that we are just a grain of sand inside of a vast, expansive, universal, ever-creating wonder. So it's Hazva QT. Plus, I'm kind of cutie.
You're so romantic. Can I have your number?
Oh wow, whoa!
Maybe later.
It's a little quick. It's just the first show,
Okay, keep going. So what are you
and
gonna do?
my role
What are you
here,
do within the framework of
I'm
our
going
show?
to be introducing observations about Armenian culture from the perspective of an English speaker, an American English speaker. Hopefully that our listeners and our viewers would find humorous, and doing some comedy pieces that are based off of different Armenian radio comedy, radio theater. So I'm kind of the wild card. I'm kind of the
resurrection.
He's the funny
kinda-
man.
I'm the
resurrection of Armenian.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm funny. I don't know if I'm that funny.
He's
I
the
mean,
funny man.
I guess I could be fun. I mean, I can be the funny man. I guess I got. Yeah, I'll be.
Oh,
funny.
believe me, you can be the funny man.
All right, I'll be the funny man. I'll be the fall guy.
Okay. Now, Steven, that's your turn. Master Steve,
Yeah. First,
on the floor.
yeah. First, Master Steve. When we first got together and started talking about this show, my role was supposed to be American English, and so my segment towards the end of the show every week will start off at least focusing on American sayings, slang, idioms, and things like that, and trying to explain those if they can be explained at all.
Wow, that's cool and really useful.
And so what when we were talking, you guys were saying, oh, well, we should call you Dr. Steve. And me being a little too serious, I guess.
You're the brains.
No,
Come on.
I don't have my PhD. I don't want to end up in some sort of a scandal later on.
Not yet.
With people saying, well, but he's not a real doctor. So I said, but, I do have my master's degree. So you can call me Master. And that
Hence
was a
the
bad
name,
idea.
Master-
That was a bad idea. 'cause
Master Steve.
That one stuck.
Master.
We're
Master.
ready to accept you as our master. Don't worry, Steven. We trust your
Oh, you have
opinion.
no idea what you're in for.
You're our authority, okay? So just
Okay.
don't worry about it.
I would like that in writing.
Okay.
Contact my
all
my
of this,
lawyer.
All
He'll
of this
get you
is
the
being
documents.
recorded.
And my agent. Contact my agent.
Okay, so
I'll have my lawyer contact your agent.
Exactly.
That's a very American thing to say.
Yeah, really it is. Or I'll sue you. I'll have my lawyer contact your agent, or I'll sue you.
everything that you say will be used in the court. Yeah.
Will be everything you say
Can and will be used
against you in the
Against
court
you,
of law.
yeah.
No, we are going to also teach you your Miranda laws for all the people that are interested, just in case you get arrested.
And again, not only are we live on air right now, and because of that, I think live has just become, to me, like one of the scariest words in the English language, live on air. Not only are we live on air every Saturday night, but like we said earlier, everything, is recorded and you'll be able to watch back.
And
later on
sent
in
to the
week.
White House.
And sent
Well-
and collected as data by the NSA, and then aggregated and then sorted so that it could be future tagged for searchability.
Yeah. This is not a fleeting moment. This is being recorded for
Perpetuity.
I was going to say posterity, but that's
Perpetuity.
not the right word.
Perpetuity. I felt you. I was connecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So
now, Ina,
yeah, it's my
Ina
turn, I
MK.
guess. Okay.
What's your story?
Am I supposed to be a little embarrassed, just like a real Armenian woman, or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ina,
Okay.
Ina by a vowel Makirchian.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
don't know this story about this
The-
MK thing. Okay, I'll share about this really quickly. Back in the U.S., when I was studying during my exchange student year, teachers, professors could not pronounce my last name. Well, like Ina Mike, please come to the office. Ina MK. And I was like, okay, I guess this will stay with me forever. So now about me. What am I doing here? I'm a lyricist with a passion for life and music. Does this sound good? Okay, good enough.
Long walks on the long walks on the beach.
What are some of your, some of the pieces you've worked on in terms of lyrics?
One of the most famous ones is the Eurovision song, which was written in 2015. It was about the 100th anniversary of genocide.
So that was the genealogy.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
genealogy.
I was at that Eurovision. I
And
went
actually,
there. I was
this
I was there in Vienna for that Eurovision.
You must be kidding me.
No, I went there for a documentary for one of the group members, Vahe Tilban. He was the first Ethiopian musician ever in Eurovision. Yeah, I remember that group. That's
You
so.
should have told me before. So we were there.
This is something that's happening live right now. This is not re-rehearsed. This is
And
this is not.
I
this
feel
is-
left out suddenly.
This is and Stephen, you were there with us with all
in
your thoughts.
spirit.
In spirit, in the past.
Okay, okay. Revealing some truth right here, right now on Radio Von 103.1 within the framework of the Newborn Show, the Great American Weekend. Okay, so this is a Eurovision song is actually what brought me to this radio. And it's been 3 years since I've been here on air as a show host, and this was something really new to me. So our director just said, okay, you can do it. Okay, Shushanik just said, you can do it, and I did it.
So and
Good
and
for you.
See, now this is Hazva and I. It's our first time as hosts on a radio show,
Ever.
right? Ever. I've
I-
never done this before.
I've never done this before
We have
either.
both been on the radio before.
Yeah, so
Thanks to Ina.
Thanks to Ina.
yeah, and thanks to the show, which was first titled American in Yerevan, and then later it was retitled Homesick at Home.
Yeah, I was on Homesick at Home.
Yeah.
It must have been 3 years ago, 4
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah.
2 years ago,
years?
I think, yeah. So this is how we're all connected to each other. But one of the things I have to say right now, that all of this would never happen if I wasn't an exchange student back in the USA, America.
Good old
So
exchange.
you are an
And
honorary.
As as you have guessed, dear listeners, Stephen is a natural American, and Hazva QT is an Armenian born in American.
Born in New York, which I always consider to be something completely independent from all of America. It's,
So-
Yeah,
it's
I
very,
lived in New York for about 3 years, and when I was there, people were like, "Oh, this is the capital of America." I'm like, "It's not the capital of America."
culturally, I would say a cultural
No, I mean,
capital.
It's a city in and of itself. It's something completely its own. It's like an old-fashioned city-state.
Yes.
It's got
Sorry
its
for
own thing.
interfering in your nostalgic moods, but so does this mean that all roads lead to America? Like not Rome? Or no, or
New York.
yeah, all roads lead from America to where we are. Three of us
Everything
right now.
comes
Everything
from
starts.
America.
Yeah, everything. comes
I'd
from-
say all roads.
America is the center of the universe.
and the reason, blame it on America.
And all roads lead to Armenia from America.
So now we know the reason
For us.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be your personal news and culture exchange guide. This is going to be my blog.
So
I'm
lay it on
excited.
us, what's the news?
We're going to have that later on. And now I'm going to have a little introduction here. To see you through the most interesting highlights of news events, both local and international, why not? And also, of course, American. And each of us will be doing what we love the most, goofing around, teaching people, and being the balance, as Aramast mentioned before, and also sharing our experience and knowledge with all of you guys. This is going to be fun, and of course we're going to have an interactive show, so write your comments, ask your questions, and do not hesitate to call us after
one of the
after
things-
tonight's show.
Or even just call us while you're hesitating, because we'll just accept you in either way. It's
Yeah,
fine.
of course. We're here to help you practice your English, right or wrong, doesn't matter, because we have a teacher here right now on air who will correct all your mistakes.
No, I won't.
Yeah,
No,
well,
I
well,
won't.
you will help
If you
people.
If you actually want people to call in.
Are you trying to scare people away? It's like, yeah, I have someone who will judge you right off the bat before you even speak to us.
I mean, if they really want to
If
know.
if you're really a masochist, please just call us right now. We'll have someone criticize you just right off the bat,
Yeah,
especially a master student.
I'll
who's-
stop you every couple of words and correct you. That's the way to get people to call in. That's the way to get people to feel comfortable. That's going to work.
Okay, guys, are you ready for this fusion of jam session of opinions, knowledge, and fun?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Woo! Woo!
So let's start from our today's topic, the Great American Everything. What is greatness, actually? Why did we choose this subject, guys?
I mean, part of it was just kind of, we're going to be really lighthearted. I mean, we're going to get into some serious discussions sometimes on the show, but
Occasionally.
even when we're covering serious topics, we want to be lighthearted about it. You know, we're not going to debate each other or argue with each other. You know, we want some humor and whatever.
Unless we disagree.
Well, if we disagree, then, you know, out come the swords.
Okay.
But I mean, so one of the things we were talking about, a name for the show and a focus. Excuse me, and one of the things that came up was, you know, poking fun at the American president, Donald Trump, and his whole "Make America Great Again" slogan from his election. And that's a little bit where we got the title of the show from, The Great American Weekend. And so it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. I mean...
Yeah, I think the Make America... MAGA.
Yeah.
I love that word, MAGA. Everyone is a Make America
it's a
Great
name.
Again, MAGA.
It's short for Margaret.
MAGA was part. MAGA was the catalyst that reminded me of the different instances in my youth that I heard the Great American blank anything. And my first music video store was the Great American Video Store. I remember different events being like the Great American Party, the Great American Adventure,
the Great American Get-Togethers.
Yeah.
With the corn dogs.
You know, the state fair in every state is usually the Great Minnesota Get
I've been in
Together and all
Texas,
those
by the
things.
way.
Yeah.
For the state fair.
Yeehaw.
It was an experience. I remember the elephant ear things. You know, have you had that?
Yeah.
or the Gravitron. Do you remember something called the Gravitron?
Not really.
It's this amusement where it spins and you basically are pressed up against the wall of this amusement park ride. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
That
What,
was
what was it called for you? What was it called for you?
They had different ones that had all sorts of different names, but that was always the excuse to get a science field trip to the local amusement park.
Yeah, because you're inside of a centrifuge, basically.
We've been studying, centrifuges and, and so, we got to go to this. We got to go to the amusement park for a whole day.
So these Great American Carnivals were kind of the part of the idea of this cliche of the Great American blank anything. And it led us to this conversation that we had together, I remember, about what it means to be great.
Well, I've done some homework here. Can I share with you really quick some quotes that I've prepared for tonight?
Would love it.
Okay, it's about greatness. So, first of them is my own genius thought, which is greatness is something you are always yearning to reach, some kind of criteria of things one is longing to achieve. Well, and also I've chosen some quotes by different people. Writers or philosophers. So the first one is, a grateful heart is a beginning of greatness. It is an expression of humility. It is a foundation for the development of such virtues as prayer, faith, courage, contentment, happiness, love, and well-being. James Foss. Okay. And here comes my favorite. Think like a queen. I'm the queen of the studio tonight. So
Tonight?
modest.
You're being too modest.
A modest Armenian woman.
That's
A
funny.
queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. So it's Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, Oprah Winfrey's. Okay, so what do you guys think?
I think they're great.
What is greatness?
What is greatness?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a good question.
Well, another interruption. To me, the greatest thing about America is the experience of becoming who I am right now. So, it's my very subjective.
But see, how did America
feeling.
help you become who you are right now?
Well, I would never be here if I didn't have my exchange year in America.
Okay. I mean, you wouldn't be...
I would never write lyrics in English if I wasn't back in the US. I wouldn't do really many kinds of things if I wasn't an exchange student in America. And I would never meet these wonderful people who I made friends with and am in touch till right now from 2002. Who basically really taught me a lot of things.
Okay.
If I wasn't back in the US in 2001, 2002. So I guess that's a lot. Isn't it? Yeah.
I'm curious as to the question is, what's the question? What's the question again?
What is greatness?
what is
American
what is-
memory loss?
I know, right? Basically, smoked way too much weed growing up. What is the question? Is what is greatness?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
What is
that is the
what is
question.
so
I mean,
great about America? Okay,
In
what
reference,
is
what's
greatness?
great? What's great about America? I guess the ability to think critically about things that matter and be able to express your thoughts freely without the fear of punishment. Even though you might be judged, you won't necessarily be punished for the expression of your thoughts unless they're hateful.
Not by the government.
Right, not exactly. Not
Social media is something else.
Yeah, so social media is like a completely different. It's like trigger happy, a reactionary, momentary, fleeting memories that just shame and bash and troll people immediately.
Yeah.
But the entire experience of being free to express yourself and to be able to think critically, I think that's what I was given. Even if it was critical about the American government, its actions, its decisions to go to war.
For the land of the free.
I mean, true freedom, I think, is what it's about, is the idea of being free to be critical-minded about the government that you're raised in, about the world, about what you've been taught in school. And I think that's what I've been given most of, is the ability to question who is behind the knowledge I've received and who is telling me the news that I receive as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
How about you, Steve?
Well, first.
Okay. Can I interrupt you? Because
You did. So apparently you can.
I'm sorry. One of the great American events that the rest of the world is waiting for is the
61st annual Grammy
Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it will be aired this Sunday, February 10th, 2019, live on CB.
On CBS.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
The
tonight we're
corporate
gonna
broadcasting
share
system.
the 8 nominees nominated for the
For Song of the Year.
Yeah, Song of the Year. So why don't we just go on a music break right now to hear 2 of the 8 nominees, 2 of the songs.
I can't wait to hear that Cardi B.
Some great American music.
Some great American music. So why don't I name the 8 nominees before we go on a break? It's I Like It, Cardi B, Bad Bunny, Cardi B, Bad Bunny and J Balvin. Correct me if I'm not pronouncing it the right way. The Joke, Brandy Carlisle. This Is America, Childish Gambino, God's Plan, Drake.
That song is fantastic, by the way. Childish Gambino is probably one of my favorite artists right now. Especially that song.
So yeah, I'm not too much into like hip hop and pop music, but Childish Gambino really has something going on.
Yeah.
He is really something special.
Very much.
And I really like this one, Shallow.
Something great.
Shallow, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Have you watched this movie, A Star Was Born?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's a musical. Well, people say it's a good one. All the Stars, Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Rockstar, Post Malone featuring 21 Savage. And The Middle...
21
Zed.
Savage. 21 Savage.
Savage. Okay, thank you. The Middle, Zed, Maren, Morrison, Gray.
All right, so we're gonna do these in the order you just read them. So this first music break.
Not necessarily, but I think right now we're gonna listen. The first song that we're gonna listen to is "I Like It" by Cardi B, Bad Bunny, and J Balvin. No.
Holla. So I think that the great part about this this next set of tracks is, for me, that we'll have a chance to preview what, from the American perspective, is considered to be the greatest music that is happening contemporarily, but based upon sales. Is that right? I think the popularity is based on the charts, which is based on the sales, and so those that are picked, the songs that are picked, are chosen based off of how many songs are sold.
Well,
is that correct?
I think the nominees are chosen, at least in part, by sales and popularity. Mm-hmm. But then the people that are members of the Recording Academy of America, which that's so professionals in the music business then vote on those nominees to choose the winner, if I remember correctly.
So, okay, now it's the right time to go on a music break. It is Childish Gambino. There you go. Stay tuned. This is the Great American Weekend, and we're here till 9 o'clock being your... Steven, can I say the phrase humble servants?
Yes. Wait, who's humble servants? Our audience is humble servants.
Yes. Okay, stay tuned. Oh, hello. We're back in our studio. We just listened to two of the nominees, the Grammy Annual Awards. And we're now ready to start my blog. Are you guys ready?
We are ready. So what are you going to do now? Your block is the news, right? So right now you're going to lay some news on us?
I think kind of forgot to let know our listeners that we have 3 blocks. So the first block will always be the cultural news and events and whatever is going on around the world and locally and both here and in America. And then later we'll have the crazy guy coming in, sharing all the jokes and funny stuff.
I'm the crazy guy.
Yeah,
the crazy guy.
He's gonna try to make us laugh.
Hazva QT and the professor, the serious guy.
So I'll be teaching English at the end of every episode.
Boring.
So break out your notepads and your grammar books.
He's here to
and your dictionaries. Just
English.
Urban dictionaries.
English slang, okay? American slang. So, about, did you guys know that today is the U.S. National Pizza Day?
You should order a pizza. In honor of National Pizza Day,
and eat it right here on air.
I can't.
Can we do that? Can we eat on air?
You guys can eat pizza.
Next time, okay?
I can't eat pizza. I'm on a ketogenic diet, so you guys can enjoy it. I encourage you guys to eat pizza if you want to.
Okay.
We'll save the pepperoni for you. We'll order a pepperoni pizza and just take the pieces off.
Can we order also bagels? Because it's a National Bagel Day.
I'm thinking we should order a bagel pizza.
Bagel pizza? Is there something like that in the United States?
Oh my God!
I can't recall.
Oh no, there's definitely something called a bagel pizza, and it's made by the same company that makes Hot Pockets, and it is fantastically addictive.
Steven, our comedy guy is standing. What do you think this is all about? Are we in trouble or what?
No, he's getting ready to do his stand-up.
Okay. He's working out. Okay, it's good. So another thing is today is the Read in the Bathtub Day.
I wish I had a bathtub to do that.
I
wish I had a bathtub. Do you have a bathtub?
No.
Do you have a bathtub?
Yes.
Oh my God, I love reading in the bathtub. Can I take a bath at your place one day?
You know, the next time we go on vacation, we'll leave the keys with you, and you can.
Hey, that's so generous of you.
No, it's just because we don't. I don't want to accidentally walk into the bathroom while I'm there. In the bath.
Of course not. That's a very Armenian quality. I think you've taken on some Armenian characteristics after leaving America.
I do something that seems really generous, but really it's just to kind of save myself.
In a way, yes.
Okay, we found out what day it is today, but we also have the whole February, which is Black History Month. Woo-hoo.
So, and we'll be covering that a little bit
Yeah,
at the end.
we'll be covering that next Saturday. So
Oh, I thought it was a couple of weeks from now. But anyway,
The
yeah.
th-
yeah,
The third
either
Saturday.
next or the third one. So make sure you don't miss these things, guys. And
Very
also,
important.
I have a question here. Attention, American Heart Month.
Well, yeah, that's the
what is
American
it?
Heart Association's month, where they try to focus on heart health.
Oh, okay.
So,
this is all about
issues
health.
with cholesterol, reminding people to take their statins and not eat bacon.
What about Armenian hearts?
I think
Americans don't care about
Steven.
Armenian hearts.
I'm asking you.
I think all hearts are the same, and I think that even the Heart Association might have planned it so that it would coincide with Valentine's Day to cross brand.
Actually, they did.
That makes sense.
I have
Okay,
heard that.
let's go with our local events. Okay, really quickly. So movies in English for English speakers. Here we go. February 10 to 13th, watch in Kino Park, which is at Yerevan Mall. The movie, The Favorite, one of the leading films in this year's Oscar race. The movie will be on at 4:50 p.m. February 14th through 16th, American cyberpunk action film Alita Battle Angel. Check out Kino Park official Facebook page for more information on the hours and how to get the tickets. So the next is Cinema Star, Dalma and Rio Mall. From February 9th till 13th, they have American comedy drama Instant Family. Okay, let's now go to live band concerts. Check this out. So first, Kami Club, they have Arata Band at Kami, Life and Crazy. The program is called Life and Crazy. Aramast Hazva QT. This is all about craziness. Maybe you should visit this one. It's February 13th.
Are you calling me crazy? I take offense to that.
Really? Okay. 16th February, it's Saint Sarkis Day with Kami Friends Project. Club 12 has Vahagen Haidapetyan Sixtet on February 10th.
And that's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
If you like jazz.
Now we know
if
what
you like
Steven
jazz,
loves.
That's going to be a great show.
I can
go
confirm.
and check that out.
I can confirm. Vach is fantastic, and anyone who has a chance should definitely go and check it out. Can you tell me what is Saint Sarkis Day?
Saint Sarkis Day is pretty much the same thing like Valentine's Day, because Saint Sarkis used
So
to...
it's Valentine's Day for Armenians.
Yeah, exactly. To make it short, Metal Classic House has a rich program, basically every day from now. So I'll give just highlights. February 10th, Michael Voskanyan and Luca Rossi. February 11th, the band. February 18th and 19th, Arto Tunç Boyacan and Armenian Nevibain. Make sure you purchase the tickets beforehand, because they get...
That one's going to sell.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
going to sell really fast. A couple of things about the theaters. Drama Theater has The Last Clown performance play on the February 14th. Again, Valentine's Day. So we have pretty much many things going on for the Valentine's. February 14th again, Yerevan Pantomime Theater has a Metamorphosis play, and there is a concert on the 14th again. Rena D will be performing with her duo in Marriott
Wait,
Hotel.
now who is that? That's a familiar name.
Of course. Hello, Rena. If you're listening to us right now, Rena, my dear, lovely co-host and a friend, an amazing person, a very talented one. I miss you really. Homesick at Home is one of the greatest things we passed through together, and we hope that we'll come back to that phase again.
Yeah, I missed that show. It'll be good when you guys get back.
So we
on
don't
the
say
air.
goodbye, we
In
say
the meantime-
see you.
Yeah. In the meantime, go and check out her with her duo on February 14th.
And also she has pretty much events going on. So if you're interested, you can just go to all these pages and check out all the details regarding the events. Make sure you don't miss Snowman Festival. Actually, I didn't know we had one on February 16th to 17th in Jermuk, Vayotso region. And of course, we have some events announced by Yerevan American Corner. Yerevan American Corner. February 11th at 2 p.m., the Yerevan American Corner invites you to a Romanian avant-garde poetry regarding a reading with Victor Pambucian. The entrance is free. February 13th at 1:30 p.m. in the frame of Conversations at the American Corner podcast series, the Yerevan American Corner will host the U.S. Embassy's cultural attaché Erica King to speak about Black History Month, aforementioned. And also we have some events in Vanazor American Corner and Kapan American Corner, which is English club tailored for advanced learners every Friday at 4 p.m. English language classes every Friday from 4 to 5 for 10 to 15-year-old school students, and American film screening every Saturday at 12 p.m.
Yeah, and for those of you in our audience out there who are interested in
guys.
improving your English,
Listen to the Great American Weekend.
Yes, but
Yeah.
in addition to listening to us every weekend, I mean, that leaves you like 6 other days out of the week where you've got nothing.
I'm starving. I need something during the week.
So these American Corners are a great resource, and the events that they put on are really good for people that are trying to improve their English.
That's the one located right next to the Central Republic Square metro stations. That's right. That's the American Corner Library.
Right, Nalbanjan Street.
Okay, great.
The library, and we're going to inform about all of these events every Saturday because this is definitely our target market. Catch some local news, guys. You ready? Armenia will import crocodile eggs for starting crocodile breeding in Armenia. Aramast, your turn.
What a load of crock.
It is planned to import eggs from 3D.
I think this is so important.
It is.
Because
It is.
I think it is so neat for every Armenian kid.
Woman.
For every Armenian kid to get a chance to have their own little Gena. Isn't that why they're importing the eggs?
Aramast, have you watched Gena?
Isn't that
cartoon?
why they're
I have no
importing-
idea what you guys are talking about right
he
now.
doesn't have any
That's-
idea. Okay, we'll tell you about.
What is Gena?
Chiburashka. It's a
Oh, Chiburashka. I know
Yeah,
the
his friend.
little
His-
like
Gena
the
is
little.
his friend
Chiburashka's
Gena.
friend,
But
okay.
that's why they're importing the eggs, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm much
so
more of
every-
a
And also, every Armenian woman should have crocodile shoes.
I'm much more of a Mighty Mouse guy
Don't record
than I am a
this part.
Chiburashka guy.
They're going to import eggs from 3 to 4 different African countries and start breeding crocodiles in Armenia. It turns out that the climate conditions in Armenia allow us to do that. Can you imagine?
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't get too cold here in the winter?
I guess not anymore. What a great opportunity.
Thank you, climate change.
And it
Uh,
appears to be that it is a great opportunity to attract tourists. Say why? Why? Because it won't be just crocodile breeding. By the way, it happens in Davtashen village. Yeah.
So it's not just going to be breeding. Are they
It
going
will
to
be
open
just-
up? Are they going to open up a new faculty for accordions
No.
at the conservatory so that they can teach the crocodiles to play the accordion? Please tell me.
Almost.
That-
Almost. Attention, it will be just a part of 21 new infrastructures called Eco Park of Surprises.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Surprise.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask you.
Playground.
Did you just say the Eco Park of Surprises?
Places for dogs, outside
This is-
fitness, routes for bicycles, and lots of surprises.
So this is basically
Give
a
us
zoo. This is basically a zoo without the cages, and the surprise is that the animals might just sneak up on you and
we can never be sure. Give us 5 members of your family and get only 4. for only $9.99.
Man, there's
Okay.
there's so much news that's so interesting to listen to, and events that are happening right now.
Okay, another one. Do you want to listen to the next news? National Statistical Service reveals that international tourist arrivals to Armenia grew by 10.5% in 2018, and it was at its peak during the revolution period.
Yes, revolution tourism is the big thing now.
Revolution, velvet
So
tourism.
We need,
this is
we
how
need
we
to have
call
a
it.
revolution every 2 or 3 years here.
Oh,
1,651 million international travelers arrived in Armenia in the reported
Sounds doable.
period.
That sounds doable.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can do a revolution every now and then, just
To keep the tourist numbers
just to
up.
keep the,
Yeah.
the tourism going. Okay, another one. Google, Amazon, Facebook will be traveling to Yerevan for WCIT, which is the annual World Congress for Information Technology. And this will be held in Yerevan in October 2019. And it was announced that Google, Amazon, Facebook, and other companies have already confirmed their participation.
Yeah, and it sounds like
That is
the
really
founders
cool,
or the
actually.
CEOs of a lot of these companies are actually going to come here in person,
Yeah,
which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, the Congress brings together more than 2,000 high-level public and private sectors representatives from over 60 countries
So
around
we
the
might
world.
have, Bezos and Zuckerberg
Yeah.
here. That would be great.
I mean, yeah, might have Bezos and Zuckerberg here. Might.
You can
Okay.
you can have a selfie with.
I think it's
Zuckerberg.
a little bit more certain that those guys are going to come here to Armenia than like Radiohead is going to play a show in
Oh
Georgia.
man, though that would be
I
fantastic.
mean, this is
though.
real news.
That would be fantastic, though.
This is real news. It's not like Stevie Wonder is going to play in Batumi.
Google, Google,
No, man,
Facebook.
we've got the heavy hitters of the tech industry coming here in the fall.
We've got Google,
That's real.
Facebook, and Twitter coming. Maybe Bezos and maybe Zuckerberg, but the companies themselves will be represented here,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay, so just stay tuned and hear the news coming. We have another news that Armenian embassy will open in Doha, the capital of Qatar, which will be a good motivation for the development of cooperation between our countries. And wow, Azerbaijani journalist visits Armenia. Steven? Aramast?
What?
Editor
this-
Shaheen.
What did he write or she?
We don't have any other news yet regarding this visit, but this is
What's
I
the
think,
name-
for the
what's the
first
name?
time in latest history that this is something like this is going on in Armenia. So let's wait and see what happens. France sets April 24th as the National Day marking Armenian genocide, which is really cool. French President Emmanuel Macron said on Tuesday, honoring a campaign promise he made from his election in 2017. Excuse me. Okay, another news. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan's The Opposite Side of the World, also known as The Other Side of the Earth, a novel he wrote during 2008-2009, has topped the Armen Press Yerevan bestseller list of Armenian authors, according to sales data from bookstores of December 2018.
Yeah, I remember at one point you couldn't find that book anywhere.
Yeah.
It was sold out everywhere.
Have you read it, Stephen?
No. I have
Why not?
such a
Why not?
hard time. I have such a
Understanding-
hard
reading
time reading
Armenian?
Armenian. It's unbelievable. So I'm waiting for it to be translated.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I might be
They
waiting
should do
a
it.
long time for that. It's probably better if I just.
Okay, here's some news from the United States. Gucci. Are you guys ready for this? Gucci has removed a controversial sweater from its website. And
Oh, I heard about this.
apologized After
That's the
some
one. That's the
people-
one with the black
Yeah,
the black turtleneck, and it has a mouth
Yeah,
that has
exactly.
it has a red lips around
Right.
the turtleneck, and it looks exactly like blackface.
So, do you
That-
also
is that the
think
one?
No, it would. The first thing I
Adam
thought
must
when I saw
go.
it was. The first thing I thought when I saw it was, $890
Yeah.
and ugly. They should take it down from the website just for those two reasons.
Although I do have to say though that there's something quite comfortable about being wrapped around in a blanket but having open access for your mouth to breathe like cold air. So I kind of
it's like
a ski mask, except like a turtle mask, let's say. But the totally poor choice of colors. I mean, they went black with the entire sweater and then red lips. It was not a good look.
What other color are they going to make the lips?
I mean, they could just choose a white shirt with red lips. I don't know, or like a red shirt with red lips. Red on red is the same black on black.
They could do blue lips, but then cold people might get offended.
That's true. Although I think for their sake, the sales and their audience and who was affected by having something that it was just a bad look for them and it was bad timing. So, I mean, I understand why they would take it out. It's sensitive to their influencers and the people who buy their product.
Yeah. But now, you know what else has been going on?
Yeah.
It's been a pretty big. We had two big events
Like this.
past week in the U.S. One of them, which usually happens this time of year, was the Super Bowl, which is the highest, the television program in the U.S. every year with the highest ratings.
Didn't watch
so
it.
did you guys
Did
watch it?
Did not watch it.
No,
Totally did not watch
I
the
didn't.
Super Bowl.
I didn't.
So
And
should
can I
say
tell you
shame on
why?
guys?
Can I tell you why? Because my mind space is much more valuable than to fill it with remembering who won it, who Peyton Manning is, even though I know the name. I can't afford to, because it's not really that important to me. Even though I know it's very American, and I know that the Patriots won like they always do, and I know
that's
that
why I didn't. I mean, I'm from Minnesota, so I'm a Vikings fan.
I'm a New York Giants fan, and they never win anything. Neither do the Knicks. None of my sports teams win anything. So I kind of I have to make my own sports. So I just took up boxing.
What about the State of the Union, guys?
And you're pretty good at it too. You're
Some-
pretty good
yeah,
at it. No, I mean, but I didn't watch the Super Bowl because I don't care about the Patriots, and the Minnesota Vikings are never in the Super Bowl, so it doesn't really matter.
Steven,
And
what did you just say?
what, the New England Patriots?
Yeah.
It's one of the football teams.
Okay.
They've got this dynasty
It's an
going
Armenian
on.
thing.
They've got this dynasty going on. They've won more Super Bowls. And it's impressive.
Yeah,
and
eight.
I can
What was it?
respect that.
Eight Super
Yeah,
Bowls,
something like that. Yeah.
No, not in a row, right?
No, not in a row.
I can't believe that I know this trivia though. Do you understand? Like, it's seeped into my mind. I cannot.
Because it's American, and it seeps.
I don't even know how it got
around.
there. I never even searched for that information. How did that information get into my mind? This is what I'm
The
interested to know
NSA
about.
put it there.
Okay,
No,
what about
anyway.
the State of the Union?
AKA.
The State of the Union. And so that's something that happens every year, but not usually at this time. It usually happens a little bit earlier in the year, in January. But it was delayed this year because the government
Shut down. The government was shut down.
Yeah.
Donald Trump shut down the
There
government.
you go.
Well, and so did the Democrats.
Comes
Let's
to
give them
mind.
equal.
Monday morning, when you're having a bad day because it's Monday and you think your life just kind of sucks.
And we're having a
think-
good day because it's
just
Saturday
think-
night.
Just think, hey, at least the American government's back open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until the next closure, which comes in about
After the
possibly in like a
Valentine's Day?
week. Yeah, like just around Valentine's Day, a gift just like, I love you, America. Signed, Donald Trump. Shutdown 2.0.
Hey, man, he's getting everybody paid so they can get through Valentine's Day and not disappoint their sweethearts.
Do you
And
actually
then they're
think
going to shut it down again.
It's all about love.
It's
America.
all about love.
Yeah.
It's all about
Hey
love.
guys, by the way, I have another news to share with you guys. May I? Okay, rare interview with George Harrison and Michael Jackson unearthed. A rare recording of an interview with George Harrison and Michael Jackson has been discovered and restored. The two legendary musicians appeared on BBC, Radio 1.
Radio 1.
Radio 1.
now?
Vaughn?
Can I discuss
Vaughn.
Can I discuss this one actually, because I'm curious? Is this the video where I saw Michael Jackson kind of laughing?
No,
No,
that's
no,
something
it's
else.
something
Oh, no, that's
else,
something
and
else.
it's
Okay.
gonna be. It's not the video.
Okay,
is
so
not even
it's not
shown
this.
yet.
It's not that
Yeah.
video. Okay.
No.
But-
So in 1979, They appeared on BBC Radio 1 to review new releases from the likes of Foreigner, Nicolette Larson, and the Blues Brothers, and to share some of the stories behind their own songs.
Yeah, I think this would be an interesting thing to see. I mean, you've got two powerhouses on, and remember, this is 1979. So you've got two musical powerhouses, George Harrison from the Beatles, who was then at that point in his solo career, and you've got
had just started like 5 years earlier. George Harrison.
Yeah. And then you've got Michael Jackson, who wasn't what he was. He wasn't yet what he was going to become. I mean, he was famous because of the Jackson 5. But that was still a few years before Thriller.
On his way up.
So he wasn't the king of pop yet. And here they are sitting down talking about, other musicians and other songs that were popular at the time. That would be an interesting thing to watch.
Yeah, and it's I guess it wasn't aired yet because it says that it will be aired on Saturday 9th.
That's today.
Yeah, it's today.
Okay.
And in America, it's still morning, so maybe
it's the morning of the 9th.
Yeah.
So just ahead of time.
Okay, so let's just watch and see what happens. Now, what else do we have to say? Any additions to my news blog, guys?
I've got an addition.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Go
time.
ahead.
It's time for Hazva QT segment called Mad Lib News.
Yes, you're so right. But before that, we need to go on another music break because we have a special Grammys evening tonight, right?
So while we take a rest and get ready for this Mad Libs.
I think you said no.
No, I didn't know.
Okay,
we need to come up with a signal.
Hazva, you knew that before, didn't you? You forget.
Yes, and
because you're so excited.
Yes, yes, and
yes. Oh, okay, so let's listen to a couple of other songs nominated for Grammy's Best Song Award, and then we will come back and see what our Hazva has to share with us. A moment of happiness, a block of joy, a period of fun. How else can we name it, Steven?
It'll be side-splitting laughter. Side-splitting laughter, right? I mean, that's what you were telling me earlier. This is gonna be killer.
I don't know that if it would be side-splitting, but I definitely think some parts of us are going to be cut up at the end of it.
Oh. Is that...
Hazva is becoming serious.
No.
This is something dangerous.
He doesn't like me anymore.
No.
Aw, can I go home?
No, but isn't that a saying, Master Slang? I mean, Master Steve. Like, isn't
Master Slang.
Isn't that like a thing?
Slang.
Like, you
Well,
cut
I
me
like
up.
that.
You cut me up. Isn't that like a thing?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you cut me up. Yeah.
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 Okay, I
Oh,
think...
Side
wait,
splitting, you cut me up.
I wasn't supposed to take that literally.
Yeah, like you're the slang master, bro. You're the slang master. These take on our roles. Come on, guys. Take on our roles.
Come on, guys. Okay, I
The
think we're ready.
balance.
Music
The
break,
knowledge.
Grammys, and we'll
The
come
laughter.
back. We're back in the studio, and now it's time for Hazva QT to start his blog. We're excited and ready. Go for it, Hazva.
Thank you, and welcome back to the
The Great American
Weekend.
Weekend.
Yay! Now we're coming to you live and direct, and we are bringing to you news that's a little bit more creative. We're creating news. Actually, we're going from fake news to make news. We're doing something called Mad Lib News. And what that means is that, I don't know if any of you out there are familiar with Mad Libs. You replace different words, verbs, adjectives, nouns, inside of sentences that create completely different meanings than what the actual intention was, the actual intended sentence was for. So what we will be doing is taking words from our
I'm
listeners.
excited.
for now, we'll be using our co-hosts. And we'll be taking news briefings from the New York Times and replacing words in front of it. So I'm going to need your guys' help for this.
Should
Master
I Google
Steve.
Words? No.
Okay.
Nope,
Okay.
don't Google words. I need your brain right
Okay,
now.
so the first thing that comes to our mind, we just say it out.
Nope, you actually tell me what I ask you for.
Okay.
So first, I'm going to ask you for a noun. So Ina, give me a noun.
A noun.
A person,
Butt.
place, or thing. A butt?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Steve, I need a noun from you as well.
Fantastic butt.
That's a fantastic butt.
Shoes.
Shoes.
Is that a compliment? Thank you. Thank you, Hazva.
You're welcome.
I was looking at her shoes.
Ina,
Okay.
I'd like to get an adjective from you.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. That is fantastic. And now, Steve, if I could get from you a verb in the past tense.
Jumped.
Jumped. That is a fantastic past tense verb. And another noun, please, Ina.
Another noun. Couple.
Couple. And Steve, a verb.
Swam.
Swam. Oh, that's
Oh, it doesn't have to be past tense. Just
Swimming.
to swim. Swimming. Okay.
And then an
couple
and the
swam.
final one, Ina,
Yeah?
an adjective, please.
Curious.
So what's going on now? While he puts this together, and
By
this
the
is
way,
a
So this
game.
is together.
Steve.
So
This is an American thing, and we used to do this when we were growing up. You would buy these notepads called Mad Libs, and they would be just they're like just stories with these different parts of speech missing. And you would ask somebody like Hazva has just done for random words.
I learned about MATLib just like a week before and really had fun. So
Yeah.
for those of you who haven't played it before, I would recommend do it. So go for it,
You ready?
Hazva.
are you guys ready?
Yeah.
I am ready.
Great.
For side-splitting laughter.
So this, this will cut you up for sure. This news article is about Jeff Bezos. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but Jeff Bezos recently accused the tabloid of blackmailing him with information that he had an extramarital affair, possibly causing his divorce, which might be worth billions of dollars.
Oh yeah, he's the richest man in the world right now, right?
That is
Yeah.
correct. The richest man in the world, and his divorce and blackmail. So, and now for our Mad Lib news. Jeff Bezos accuses tabloid publisher of blackmail. Mr. Bezos, Amazon's chief executive and the world's richest couple, said on Thursday that the owner of the National Enquirer had tried extortion and swimming to stop him investigating how material exposing his curious affair was leaked to the tabloid. In an online butt, Mr. Bezos accused American Shoes Incorporated of threatening to publish fantastic photos, including a below-the-belt selfie, if he didn't affirm that the Enquirer's reporting on his affair was not politically motivated. Mr. Bezos mentioned his ownership of the Washington Post. American media's owner, David Pecker, is a friend of President Trump, who has jumped the Post.
Who has jumped the post?
Amazing news. Amazing news. Thank you, Hazva.
and that is all that we have for Mad Libs today, and that's all for my segment of Mad Libs. And
Yeah,
now
we're
I would
gonna
like to
play
move
it
on.
Every time, every Saturday, we're gonna do it, right? Okay, go ahead.
And now I'd like to move on to my next segment, and that's something that we'll be doing from time to time as we see how our viewers like to interact with because we are doing this for you guys. And your comments and feedback mean a lot to us so that you can tell us what you enjoy and what you find entertaining, because we're here for you guys. So today I'm going to move on right now to our next segment, which is something I'd like to call sit-down comedy. Sit-down comedy is part of a comedy segment where I'll be sharing views, opinions, and observations about what it's like to be an American, or in my case, an Armenian American in Armenia. We'll be calling this sit-down comedy since most of us will be sitting, including me. Today's topic is politeness. Armenia is the land of open doors and tinted windows. Armenians are the most hospitable people who you know nothing about. Taxis have tinted windows. Nightclubs and governmental buildings have equally tinted windows. Most people wear sunglasses even when there's no sun outside. There's a desire here to be seen, but not to be seen at all. When I first arrived in Armenia back in 2012, I didn't realize that people didn't practice politeness in the form of pleasantries.
You think?
Yeah, I'm from New York, where people greet each other with curse words. But we still say good morning, how are you, please, and thank you. After we say son of a bitch, you ass, or you jerk, like good morning, you son of a bitch, or how's it going, you ass. You know, we still have this pleasantries inside of our politeness. I noticed this surprise with politeness here for the first time when I asked the taxi driver, how are you? And he was surprised and just stared at me.
What do you want from me?
Yeah, basically, like, what's your problem? I asked another taxi driver how he was doing, and he didn't even believe that I was asking the question in the first place. He thought I was talking to someone else on the phone, like, what, you're actually talking to me? And yet another taxi driver that I spoke to, and I just simply said, like, how you doing? He just responded with me, I hope you're doing all right. And the way that he sounded, the tone of how we were speaking, was so aggressive that I felt like I had to respond back to him. It was like, no, I hope you're doing all right.
You better do all right.
Yeah, it's like, no, I hope you're doing all right. Yeah, but you're doing all right.
I don't care how my day is. I hope you are having a great day.
Basically. Even the cashier ladies at the stores, there's another place where I noticed that people were surprised by politeness. I would be buying like a pack of gum, and I would ask the lady how she's doing, and she would whip her head as if and to stare back at me into my eyes as if no one had ever asked her that question before. Like, no one ever asked me before how I am. You know? Being American in Armenia.
So she thought you were the prince on a white horse?
Yeah, just simply by asking hello, how are you? I mean,
Okay.
it's a little too easy.
I think she was just surprised by your accent.
Or just my good looks, you know,
Yeah.
my charm and good looks.
Or by your hate?
My hate?
How tall you
My
are?
height, yes, not my hate.
This is an Armenian accent.
So I'm
okay?
surprised by your hate. Take me. Being American in Armenia has its peculiarities with regards to the reason of my actually being here. And some people just can't understand. They'd all ask me, why are you here? I mean, why would someone leave America to come live in Armenia? People are trying to leave here, and you're coming to live here from America?
I get that
Why?
all the time too.
I'm sure you had this
What
too.
in
Like,
the world are you doing here?
Yeah, like you went to America. Why didn't you just stay?
Yeah, that's what they've been asking me. Why did you come back? Why did you even come back?
America is so great. Why would anyone leave?
Yeah, and I'm usually surprised by their surprise because I'm leaving there, coming here, being kind of amazed by the life that's over here. So I'm surprised by them.
Here's the grass is always greener on the other
On
side.
the side, there
right?
you go.
know,
That's
things are always better wherever it is that you're not.
That's an aphorism we'll have to ask you, Master Steve, to unpack for us. But I then realized that they may think that I'm a spy, or I'm here trying to shop for a wife.
You're,
Or-
you're,
And aren't you asked
You're
that thing
not?
often, every now and then?
you're not.
Please. It's like, I realized then they may think that I'm a spy or I'm trying to shop for a wife, or both. Maybe they think I'm a wife shopping spy. When someone would ask me where I'm from, at first I would answer honestly, which resulted in increased cab fares and increased interest from women who may see me as a potential passport out of here. Like, let's go, get me away from here. You're the guy. Then, as people kept asking me, why are you here? I started to play with the answer. With taxi cabs, I would say, oh yeah, I'm here because espionage work is better here than anywhere else. Iran, Russia, Turkey, Azerbaijan. Spy work is much better here in Armenia than in the US, where the market is totally saturated, especially since they spy on their own citizens over there with automatic collection of data and the NSA, the whole spiel. And the taxi driver took me seriously. I mean, to him, it made perfect sense. He expressed his complete understanding. Like, oh, I totally get it. I understand why you would seek work out of the country that you come from to seek better pay. He was totally empathetic, unwavering, regardless of if I was a spy or a murderer or not. So I started to play more with my responses. And I became more vague with where I'm from. And when someone asked me where I'm from, I would say, specifically a taxi driver, I would take a deep breath. I would stare out the window so as not to reveal where I'm from in a poetic way, averting revealing my country of origin and saving myself an extra cab fare. I would say, I'm from a place that is no longer a place anymore. Oh, you're from Syria, the taxi cab would say. The taxi driver would say.
Oh, you're from Syria.
Oh, you're from Syria. So they started assuming that I'm a refugee from Syria because my origin is from Syria, and when I speak Armenian, I have an accent that's from over there. And my parents are generational refugees from the genocide, so I speak in the Western Armenian accent. So it's totally natural they would assume that I am from Syria. So they would ask me, are you from Syria? And I was kind of curious where the conversation would lead. So I would answer, by origin, yes, my parents are from Syria, and this would be enough to solidify their assumption. Now at this point, this driver starts complaining about life in Armenia. I mean, he thinks that I'm a refugee coming from Syria to live here in Armenia, mind you. And he starts complaining to me. This country's not a country. The oligarchs are taking over all the businesses. There's no middle class. Only the rich. They're only the rich few and the many poor. I suggest you leave immediately. I know you're coming from a difficult situation, but this is not the country to live in. And I'm thinking to myself,
I like the voice.
This guy thinks he's got it bad, and he thinks he's speaking to someone who has escaped war. So I'm starting like, life sucks here, does it? Oh, man. Oh, life sucks here. Oh, okay. Well, can you tell me whose car you're driving? Whose car is this? Oh, this is my car. This is my car, he says. So you drive this car? Yeah, it ain't much, but it's mine. Oh, that's great. You got a car. Well, can I ask you, do you own a house? Yeah, I got 2 homes. Oh, man, you're complaining about the country and you've got 2 homes and a car? And at this point, I see the guy and he's a bit uncomfortable. I mean, he thinks he's talking to a refugee for all intents and purposes, and he sees me appreciating all that he has. And he starts to question himself, and he's feeling uncomfortable. He's feeling a little anxious, but I'm not finished yet. I want to pluck at his heartstrings. I really want to get him to feel something. So I say, can I ask you one last question, man? Just one last question. Is your family here? Do you have family nearby? Are they with you? Yeah, I've got a wife, 2 kids, my brother and sister, my mom and my dad, my grandchildren, my grandfather, blah, blah. He's got his whole family over here. So I tell him, let me get this straight, man. You've got a job, a car, 2 homes, and your family is all with you. What more can you ask for, man? And this guy turns into the best motivational speaker almost instantaneously. I mean, the dude started off by saying, this place is no place, this country is not a country. And by the end of our conversation, he's telling me things like, everything's going to get better, don't worry, things will improve step by step, opportunities will come if you just look for them in life. Instant motivational speaker. And this is where I realized Armenian politeness isn't found in everyday pleasantries like please and thank you, which is still a joy to hear. We get into arguments and fights and then immediately afterwards go out for barbecue and have shots of vodka together.
Right.
We are an emotional people. Armenian politeness exists in emotional connection. And if you can connect emotionally with someone, they feel like you're one of them.
I'm gonna get really emotional right now. 'Cause, thanks thanks for sharing this with us, Hazva QT.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's my commentary. I mean,
How are you doing?
Have you guys noticed that type of like surprise from politeness from people, or even like emotional responses being the way to connect with someone?
I don't know. I mean, being here, I stick out. Like, I can go to the U.S. and walk down the street and go places and nobody notices me.
Sure.
Here, I stick out.
Mm.
The hair, the earrings, all of that stuff. And so maybe it's just that. But, there are a lot of people who notice me, remember me, make sure that they say hi to me. I mean, people that I don't even know, that I'll pass by on the street regularly, and they'll say hi. And so I don't know if I've really seen the lack of pleasantries that you were talking about, because there are a lot of people. I go to a store, I go to the same store to buy coffee a couple of times a month, and the guy knows me, recognizes me, talks to me a little bit. So I do.
Well, I mean, the guy, your corner store guy is different than if you have a relationship with them than the pleasantries that you express with a total stranger. I guess in Armenia there are no total strangers.
No, there aren't. There aren't, especially for people like you and me who we stick out. We're noticed.
We are family. Okay, guys,
It is such a small city.
Yeah.
It really is.
A big village.
That's kind of
Totally different from New York.
Oh my God! In New York, you can easily get lost. Here, you can easily be found, and I think that is simultaneously the greatest strength of Yerevan and Armenia in a way, because the network is so tight that if you need to contact someone who has connections with any type of organization or resource that you might need, it's just a few calls away and someone can come and help you. And I think the growing access to that type of network based off of this type of emotional connection that people have with one another is something that is I think overlooked sometimes, because I usually hear complaints. Yerevan is so small, we're all family, everyone knows each other, everyone kind of is in their business, but that's also one of its greatest assets, is that you have the ability to contact someone and get access to something that normally in any other place you would have to go through several layers of bureaucracy to get through. Not to say that there isn't bureaucracy here, there definitely is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Are you guys ready for the music break?
I would love it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I'd like to remind our listeners that this is the Great American Weekend on Radio Van 103.1, and we're here in the studio with Hazva QT, Master Steve, and we'll be here for another 25 minutes. Can you imagine, guys?
Yeah.
We almost did it. So if you guys don't have an access to frequency, you can go ahead and watch us live on www.radiovan.fm and also our Facebook page. And of course, you can download the application to your smartphones and listen to us around the globe. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon.
See ya.
Yeah, by the way, we'll be listening to Shallow. Ladies and gentlemen, dear listeners, this is a Great American Weekend. We're back after our music break, listening to some Grammys, the nominees for the best song, the song of the year. So, tonight we had a really, really hectic and rich program.
Yeah, there are still some bugs in this program.
Reach.
Yeah.
Rich.
We were reaching. We're reaching.
We are really happy to be in this new studio, and in fact, we really pushed for it.
Yeah.
Look at this.
And there was some resistance from, other people in this station, and maybe they were right, because there are still some bugs to work out here. But we're doing all right, aren't we?
We're gonna make it, Steven.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
So, we have to warn everyone that Hazva has a huge program for our next shows. So, make sure you do not miss it.
I'd like to preview. So for the next show, we'll be reviving, some of you may or may not be familiar, Radio Yerevan, or Armenian radio. In Russian, it's Armenskia Radio. It's a Armenian political radio comedy hour that used the question and answer format to make commentary about the political situation, about marital issues, about everyday life in the Soviet Union. So we'll be doing original jokes, reviving older jokes, and updating older jokes as an homage to Armenia's radio legacy. So stay tuned next week to hear more jokes coming from Armenia Radio.
And we were teasing you tonight, just having this 2-hour introduction of what we're gonna do, followed every Saturday. Now
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be educative. And now I'm giving my turn. The turn to. Am I saying it right?
Well,
Hand
it over.
Hand it off.
Yeah.
Hand it off to
You're gonna
Master
hand
Steve.
it over to me. Well,
Hand it off to
yeah.
Master Steve.
It's now Master Steve.
So I would like to give all of our audience members a second
Master.
to
Yes,
get out
Master.
Get out your notebook.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
Yes, I'm
He's
listening, Master.
listening
Get
to
out-
you.
Get out your notebooks and your pencils. No, I'm just kidding. In the future, I really want to be able to do terms and English things that our audience is interested in. So right now, I've got some topics and some terms that I'm going to try to do tonight.
Please tell me they're
At
cuss
any
words.
time,
Cuss
though,
words.
Cuss words.
Please tell me there are cuss words, please.
Asma,
No,
behave.
man, we're starting off kind of slow this time.
Okay.
But we'll
All
get
right.
there.
Step by
We'll get
step.
there.
I'll-
We'll get there.
I'll definitely
Um,
fucking get there.
I would like to be able to do things that our audience is really interested in. So every week I'll be looking at comments and stuff like that, and even during the show, if you want to throw up some words that idiomatic phrases, slang terms that you would like me to explain, I'll do the best that I can. And because it's the Great American Weekend, and we started off the show tonight talking about greatness and what makes things great, I'm going to start with some kind of slang terms or phrases revolving around that. One of them actually
Okay.
ties in with one of your news stories early on.
Yeah,
and
I remember. What
and-
was it?
Well, see, one of the ways that kids these days say something is great or cool is to just say Gucci.
Yeah, it's so Gucci.
It's so Gucci, yeah.
But will it change now, you think?
Is it that's so Gucci, or is it that's Gucci?
I don't know. I'm old. This is just what young people told me.
Because like I could see some.
Update your database.
I could see some youth saying like, "Hey man, hey, those cufflinks are Gucci."
No, actually, they're not. They're Swarovski.
I know. Wait, hey.
Oh,
hey.
I see. I totally misunderstood
That's
what you were
that's
doing.
showing. That's class
Yeah,
right there.
that's-
That's style right there, Master
No,
Steve.
see,
Totally.
this show is. What is this show all about? Okay, go ahead.
So, and then there are always the ones that we hear all the time, cool and rad, but that one's pretty dated now. It shows how old I am.
Rad is like
Awesome.
1980s.
Awesome.
Cool is also the.
Sick.
Sick. And a lot of them are kind of the opposite of what you
Yeah,
would think.
But the same thing happens with Armenian language, like tuin. It's like poison.
Yeah,
which
that's
means
true.
Cool. for
That's true.
instance.
Yeah.
Lit is one that I hear that's being
Bumpin'?
adopted. Lit is used so much. Bumpin', yeah, that's like 90s, 2000s, but like lit is now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so
and it's
lit.
Yeah.
Neat. Also,
And-
neat.
neat. Yeah, but neat is not quite great. Neat is. Yeah,
That's cool.
Not quite as
It's like it's all right. Neat is like that's neat.
Yeah, it's a little bit weaker than great.
Or what's that? Woke. Woke is kind of like great with awareness almost.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's like great and you're aware simultaneously. That's kind of one of my favorite ones.
Is
Here's
it like
one
the
that-
song? I'm sexy and I know it. Dum, dum,
Here's
dum.
one that I saw back in
Where
the
did that come
spring.
from?
I was I tuned into ESPN to watch some football matches, not soccer, football. We got to talk about that sometime. And there was this show on, and they were talking about the NBA and basketball.
Fucker,
And-
football.
while I'm waiting for the football match to start, and they used this slang term that I had never heard before, and I was really confused. They were talking about whether some player was the GOAT.
Yes.
And me being an
GOAT.
English teacher, I'm like, dude, you guys are native English speakers. You are Americans, and you are misusing the article. It's
Please tell me
the
you didn't.
goat.
Please,
The goat. Which goat?
please tell me you did not think that was the animal. Please tell me.
I had no idea.
That is awesome.
I had no idea.
Goat is
and
so.
Also, but see, here, me being an English teacher, my first problem with it was you shouldn't use the. You shouldn't use the article with
yeah.
the.
You're
that's why
saying
I'm
it all
thinking, like,
wrong. It's
which-
goat, not
which
the goat.
Is he? Is he a goat?
Yeah.
Is he a
He's
goat?
goat.
Is he
The
the goat?
goat.
Well, which goat? Are we talking about it?
He's
You know, that's
just a
kind of
goat.
like POTUS, actually. And you know what? I would have never known. I would have never known what POTUS was until I actually looked it up or someone explained it to me. And I have to give you credit.
Well,
all
so
right?
what is it? What is POTUS?
Well, POTUS is the president of the United States, but I wouldn't know. I didn't know that until I actually looked it up because it was just an acronym that didn't make sense to me. But GOAT, I have to give you credit because GOAT, I would not have known if it wasn't for hip hop culture and me listening to hip hop lyrics.
Yeah.
So
and what it turns out is this is an abbreviation.
reveal the secret, Steve.
Yeah. For the greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
Okay.
Greatest of all time.
Yeah. So here I
The
am
Great
thinking that they're
American Weekend.
talking about whether or not this guy's a four-legged animal. Weird.
Steven, promise that we're not going to speak about the hamsters.
No, we're not going to talk about the hamsters. We are not going to talk
Thank
about
you.
the hamsters.
Wait, what?
At least not this time.
What
Don't.
hamsters?
Do not.
Next time.
That's the big surprise for
That's
You
all the time.
remember.
That's all the time.
some
Oh, wait.
other time. And so with you were talking about POTUS.
Yes.
Right? And we've got, especially now with American politics, you've got POTUS and SCOTUS, which is the
what's
Supreme Court of the United States.
Yeah. And then there was the
Okay.
SOTUS, the State of the Union. Or
Yeah.
State of the Union.
Yeah.
State of SOTU.
Yeah. So I've got some other ones, and some of these are actually from Trump's State of the Union address, but they're used a lot. I mean, how many of you guys, or how many of our listeners have ever heard the word gridlock?
I haven't.
And wonder, like, what, and it's something that they talk about a lot in Washington, D.C. these days, because we've got a Republican in the White House, and we've got the Republicans in control of the Senate, but just by one person. So it's 51 to 49. And then we've got the Democrats in control of the House of Representatives. So what ends up happening a lot is just things can't get done. They don't agree on things, and so everything stops.
Yeah.
The House may pass a bill, some legislation. The Senate might disagree, and they won't pass it. Or the House and the Senate might pass it, and the president won't agree, and so things just don't happen. And this is, we commonly refer to this as gridlock.
And for all your listeners that are in Yerevan, gridlock is what happens when all of the cars inside of gridded streets are actually stopping other cars from moving. So,
Which is why we now have the waffle.
The waffle?
The waffle.
What's the waffle?
Those grid marks that they've
The
painted on
waffle
some of
which
the
you-
intersections.
Uh-huh.
And that's the area that you're not supposed to cross into if you're not sure that you can get through the intersection before the light changes.
I have not seen the waffle yet.
Ah, okay. It's around on a few places. So now my understanding of it is if you are stopped in there when the light is red for you, the police can come over and give you a ticket. So it's to try to stop gridlock on the streets where things are just,
The courteous and professional and respectful police force of Yerevan and Armenia.
Yeah. So another one, across the aisle. Okay, working across the aisle is something that they talk about in American politics, and the idea is
That's part of the Me Too movement?
what? That was so not. I think that was non sequitur. Can you explain? No. But across the aisle is especially in big meetings of the House of Representatives, the Republicans will sit on one side of the the meeting chamber and the Democrats on the other, and there's an aisle in between. And so working across the aisle, or, crossing the aisle, means working with people of the other political party.
So you're
like compromising, cooperating.
cooperation.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Working across the aisle is
So
compromise, cooperation with
not
the other.
not
changing the cooperation, kind of like that.
well, not siloing off yourselves and kind of having communication open between sides that generally would not be in communication or in talks or in negotiation or in order to cooperate.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
reaching across the aisle for means the aisle in the Senate or Congress between the two parties.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So we've got something
We're
to.
learning.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
There's an idiomatic phrase in English, preaching to the choir.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay.
And I don't really know what it is.
Okay. Well, it's
Preaching to
it
the-
comes from like a religious setting, and so you've got the priest gets up, or the preacher gets up at a certain time during the mass or the Sunday church service, and he gives his little speech. He gives his sermon, he preaches.
So is it preaching to the singing choir or no?
Well, see, that's the thing.
Okay.
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 The choir is there.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And the choir, well, why are they there?
To sing
Yeah, to sing. So they're not
and
just
praise?
they're not just your regular churchgoers.
Yeah,
They're
right.
people that are really committed to being there. They're real believers.
Yeah.
They want to be there. They want to be there so much that they're going and practicing singing.
It's my favorite part of the church.
So you
It's my
should
favorite part
not
of the church.
preach to the choir.
Well, the choir are people who are already
Already
probably
in
going to
there, yeah.
agree with what the priest is going to say. And when you're preaching to the choir, you're
It's
talking to the
useless.
people that already probably
know.
agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people were saying that Trump's State of the Union address he was preaching to the choir. He was talking to the people that already agreed with him, and not trying to offer real arguments or real evidence to try to convince people that didn't already agree with him.
During the State of the Union.
Yeah, and this is a typical thing to be done in political rallies and stuff like that. You don't, you kind of have an audience that is probably going to agree with everything you say. So you don't offer real strong arguments. You don't try to open up any doubts. You're not really trying to convince anybody. What you're trying to do is to rally up people that already agree with you.
And he definitely did that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can
That's
definitely
an
see.
interesting explanation.
Yeah, and
And the last one?
well, I'm going to actually move on a little bit to one of the other things that happened this week, the Super Bowl. And
Okay.
in American English, we have a lot of phrases that revolve around American sports.
Yeah.
And with American football, and I have to say American
Hole
football
in one.
here, right?
No, that's the wrong
But,
sport.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
Rugby.
Touchdown.
Nice.
Yeah, touchdown. So we've got things like third down, which kind of means your last chance, right? Or third down and long. You'd say third and long.
Sounds like a drink at the pub. I'll have a third. I'll have a
third and
I've had a
long.
third and long, please.
Yeah. And this is, you have in American football, you've got 4 plays to move 10 yards, which is roughly 10 meters. Okay? And if you don't move 10 yards by the end of the 4th play, then the other team gets the ball. And you don't want that to happen usually. So your third down is usually like your last chance, your last try. And so to say something like it's the third down means it's the last chance. To say it's third and long means you've got this last chance and you've probably got, like 9 yards to go. You've got most of the way to go.
Okay, I see it. I always thought that American football rules is so hard to actually explain and understand.
There are a couple of different levels. At the basic level, it's kind of easy if you're watching the game and you have somebody to explain it to you. You can kind of pick
Yeah.
up what's going on fairly easily.
Right.
There are some similarities to rugby as well. If you're, I mean, I know this part of the
Yeah.
world, people have more connection to rugby than they do American football necessarily. But there are some overlaps with rugby. Have you ever watched rugby? You know?
Yeah, I've watched our high school team playing it.
Here, rugby,
No,
No, in the U.S.
in America.
rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So, another American phrase or saying that's based on football is through the uprights,
Okay.
right? And you've got the yellow thing, the yellow like little rectangle without a top at the end of the field on each end. They do what's called a field goal. If you score a touchdown, you get 6 points, and then you get to go for the extra point. And the guy has to kick the ball and get it in between those two yellow poles.
Mm-hmm.
And those are called the uprights. So if you put it through the uprights, it means
You've got
the point.
the
So you've done
maximum
it.
point?
You've done it. You
Oh,
got
you
it.
managed to do
Yeah,
it.
you managed
Okay.
to do it. So through the uprights, like successful. Or here's another one: Monday morning quarterback. Okay, football games in America, most of them are played Sundays. You know, there's one on Monday, and I think they've changed now for the last couple of years. They've got one on Thursday, but for the most part,
Mondays.
American football games are played on Sunday.
And Mondays.
Well, Monday night they've
Monday
got
night.
one, but most of the games are on Sundays. And the quarterback is the guy on the team for the offense who is, running the plays. He's running he's kind of like the coach when he's on the field. And so to talk about a Monday morning quarterback is, Monday morning, the game's over. Right? It's all
The game
done.
is over.
So in hindsight,
Steven, our game is
hindsight-
over.
oh,
Yeah. I was trying to
We're
catch that-
offsides.
I was trying to
We're
catch that
offsides.
very moment to not feel so bad
time's
interrupting
up.
Time's
Steven
up.
because our
Game
game is
over.
over for tonight.
Where was the 2-minute warning?
2-minute warning. There was no
Another
2-minute
five.
warning.
Bob,
Yes, actually.
this is the 2-minute warning right here, right
No.
now, and we have to say goodbye to our listeners.
That was segment interception.
The game is over, but the show must go on, right?
That was segment interception right there.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to us tonight. We did it.
Thank you, guys.
you very
You
much.
did it. You did it. And if there are any Americans that are listening out there, your taxpayer dollars is making every bit of this possible. So we are ever grateful for you paying percentages from your paychecks every month or week or however often you get paid. Thank you.
He
Grateful.
said it.
Thank
you
you.
guys for being with us tonight. And trust me, we've got plenty of stuff to share with you. And we're really excited and looking forward to it. Every Saturday night from 7 to 9 p.m. we'll be here, 3 of us,
Live from Yerevan.
live from Yerevan on Radio Van 103.1. Master Steve,
Hazva QT.
Hazva QT,
And
And
Ina
Ina
MK.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Have a great week.
Have
And
a
God
great
bless-
See you.
And God
Sunday.
bless the United States of America.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.